well, that is a little tour of what I've been up to here in BrizVegas. Let's take a bit of a closer look at the city now. So let's just jump out of the old photo mode there. So for those of you who might have actually been to Brisbane, I hope, and please entertain me and indulge me, but I hope you would have observed it does kind of look a bit like Brisbane. So it's a bit hard to tell in the photo mode, but you can see here how I've been trying to build out the city. So obviously starting with the center of the city here with the CBD. Right next door we have the valley, and fun fact, I used to live in the valley, so I'm looking very much forward to creating my old neighborhood, which I think technically would have been around here. We've got room here to start building out that inner city north, moving into Spring Hill, where I also used to live. So that's going to be fun. We go out to the west, the inner west, with Petrie Terrace and Milton. You know, we've got Roma Street here running up through the middle of it from the CBD. We've got Coronation Drive flowing on from the Riverside Expressway down into Toowong. And then across the south of the river, we've got the famous South Bank area, surrounded by West End and South Brisbane. Some of my favourite parts of Brisbane. It's got a lot of aesthetic qualities. This is where a lot of the entertainment precincts are. You know, things like the theatre and the like. We've got South Bank, which actually has a beach in the middle of it, so I'm really looking forward to some of these beach assets coming out for CS2 shortly. And then on the south side over here, so the Gabba, Kangaroo Point, and of course the famous Story Bridge. And if we close up on the Story Bridge, I was actually quite pleased. The Grand Bridge really does give the essence of the Story Bridge with the big arches, and I love it. We've got the city cats roaming around the Brisbane River, going to all the various stops. And yeah, and it's quite funny actually that I started publishing those Trambience videos because a fun fact would be that Brisbane does in fact not have trams. It did in the 1950s or, you know, thereabouts, but not these days. So I do feel though it's one of the most efficient and probably one of the most aesthetic methods of transport in CS2. So I made a bit of an executive town planner decision there to incorporate trams into the city. But it's very much built around public transport more broadly. As much as it is a car city, if you like, you know, obviously there's a lot of big highways and the like in this part of Brisbane. It still has the city cat, which is quite popular for people to get around on their way to work in the morning or back in the afternoon. Buses are also a really big part of Brisbane's public transport system, and trains as well for that matter. So I have started building out the train system, trying to follow along with the exact train routes we have in Brisbane. Struggling a little bit just given the sheer size of the assets for things like the train station, because an example might be that, you know, there's at least 2 train stations technically in this sort of vicinity here, but it doesn't quite make sense, I think, for how it's sort of filling out in the game itself. I think I also need to do a bit of work around here in the CBD to really make it look a bit more Brisbane-esque. But I guess another good reason why it's challenging to do things like that is technically there's also a university campus, and the city hall or the state parliament. They're all sort of nested down here among the botanical gardens, and the size of the assets is just simply too big for me to fit in here. with the general size of all the other things going on. So again, some executive town planner decisions being made here. Um, but you know, I think it's coming along. I can definitely visualize riding along the Riverside Expressway through South Brisbane. You know, we have this great big pedestrian bridge going across the river, as well as like a public transport only bridge going across here as well. Um, it's quite funny actually. There's a lot of when you look at pictures of the Riverside Expressway, it looks like there is literal trees growing out of the river. So that's what I've done. And yeah, I think if you compare it side by side, it's definitely coming along. So I've probably been spending about 2 weeks or so building this, spending too many hours than I probably care to confess about on the internet, being sunk to this, but it's just so much fun, isn't it? Thank you for anyone who actually took the time to watch the tram videos. I don't know about you guys, but I think after a long day of city building, there's nothing I enjoy more than just taking a ride around on the public transport and taking in all the various views of the city and celebrating my hard work. But the thing that was evident to me in the Trambience video, there's a lot of issues with these trams. So I think a good example of that is around here, which is one of the main sort of stops. And it's pretty clear that there's just too many dang people waiting for these trams. And sorry about the autosave. I have to leave that on for my own sanity, I'm afraid. So just bear with me on that. But I think that there is so many people because two reasons. So the first one would be that I've made the public transport completely free in my city. I just thought, why not? So every single tram loop and bus loop and train loop has all been set to $0 dues. Because I was just having so many traffic problems and I thought that that might help. But in turn, it's just created too much demand. And some of the performance issues I'm having, I think, very much relate to just the sheer amount of people that are waiting at these stops. You can see the game grind to a halt when it's dealing with these people. So I think that was pretty obvious in the first episode of Trambience. But anyway, I think the next reason I'm having so many issues with this is there's just simply not enough stops. And I think I've also carelessly put a few stops in place that are causing the tram to veer to the other side of the road as part of the route. So that's definitely something I want to fix today. But here's a little view of the lines that I have set up for these trams. The inner city loop is certainly the most popular. It does have the most stops. So I think that one is kind of alright, but we'll have a look. I think we'll start with the South Brisbane loop because honestly that was crazy to me just how ineffective that was. So let's jump into the South Brisbane loop and see what we can do. So I think by using this view it'll be very easy for me to see where I've made perhaps just some really simple mistakes with the stops. I mean, I think that's okay. The city is still evolving, obviously, so, you know, there's a few lines that cut or turn around that will probably go on to other areas, but what's this here? So you can see here, there's something weird going on here, isn't there? You know what, actually, I think what I'm gonna do, Let's just double check where this actually goes. So we've got 25 stops. Oops. So we've got 25 stops. It goes all the way over to south of the river, up through the valley, Brisbane, down here. Okay, I think that it would probably make more sense to concentrate this around here and maybe not so much up here, because there's already loops for those purposes. And so I think I'm going to just do something crazy, and I'm just going to delete this. And we're going to build the South Brisbane loop again. And this time, hopefully we're going to do it a little bit more properly. I am going to do a close-up on these because I have a bad habit of putting them on the wrong side of the road. Oh, yeah, see, this is where I've put two on the same side of the road. Anyway, I don't want to lose my line, so who cares? Let's keep going. Alrighty. I think that's looking a bit cleaner. Now the education loop is an interesting one because it's only... I just kind of did this to go around... the university, school, high school. It's not getting a lot of use, is it? It's probably adding a bit of congestion, really. And we have... the Valley Loop, yes. But the Valley Loop doesn't come down here, so... if I get rid of this, there's kind of no tram between the CBD and up here. So I think rather than having a completely separate line, it probably makes sense to just have an additional stop on this one up here to get people up here. Let's do it. Why? Wait, let me fix this first. Alrighty. So that's that. And then we have our inner city loop. Now the highest. The inner city loop now has the most popular line. And so the inner city loop we have... where does that start? Does that start and end here? Okay. I think it's a real shame that nothing's sort of coming down here anymore when I was cleaning up some of the other routes. I feel like the inner city loop needs to do that. I'm kind of tempted to just redraw this one as well, but I kind of already, but then again, I mean, look at this nonsense, like, ooh, that's, it's just not right. Okay, let's get rid of this one too, but we'll redraw, let's get rid of the inner city loop, but we'll redraw this one. Let's do it. think we need to tramify this. Yeah, I think we need to tramify this, so... And then have... Because this is the town hall. And the city cat stop, actually. And so, in fact, that makes me think that perhaps... What down here? What have I missed? There we go. Very good. Alright, let's try that one more time. Oh yeah. Loving it, loving it. Now, do we want it to go out here? Because then it could go around just to collect some more of the people down here. Because they only really have one line out this way as well. So I'm thinking yes. Again, the stop's on the same side of the road. Okay, but let's just take it back over the bridge anyway. That then lets us take care of some of these places down here. And then back to our destination. Yeah, I quite like that because you get a chance all of the inner city. Alright. Loving it. Needs a different color though. Maybe some of that. I really love the lime green. Done! I wonder if that will do anything to help traffic. Actually, let me just make sure that I have... Yeah, I wish... Is there a way to just make this free permanently? That would be good. Alright, now I think I haven't fixed the tram problem entirely, but I think that will help. But man, the traffic. Why is the traffic just so bad? Goodness me. Hang on, what the hell is going on over here? Stop turning there. Well, this stopped them from turning there. Oh. I think that will help. Okay. What the dang heck is going on over here? Lots of people want to turn that way. Okay, but I mean... I think it's just the cars acting strangely. People trying to cut in and such. What about down here? Ugh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious me. What needs to happen here? if memory serves me right, this was a bit of the original highway that was here, potentially. It could probably do with an upgrade. And I mean, honestly, this is just what the Riverside Expressway actually looks like in Brisbane anyway. So maybe it's fine. It's realism. Where else have we got traffic issues? I think this is a continual problem area here. But again, a very accurate representation of this area of town. Still, I wonder if there's a better way. I see. I think perhaps these people shouldn't be able to turn right there. So why the hell not? Where are they all coming from? Something else that kind of irritates me, sometimes I like to do this just so I can see the traffic properly. All these damn parked cars. Okay. Has that done anything? There's traffic lights, right? Yes. They still insist on indicating to turn that way. Do you not respect the rule of law? Well, I mean, the icon's gone away. Bit of a car crash, a little bit more traffic over here. Yeah, this is a bit of a nasty situation. I mean, look, I'm not a traffic scientist. I'm just trying to make the city look like Brisbane. I'm not really designing it for smooth, no traffic. So we've got a bit more realism going on here, we'll call it, but I don't really know what to do about this area for now because we definitely need an exit off the highway. Come back to that one. What do we have going on over here by the Story Bridge? Again, another bit of a continual problem area. I mean, sometimes I've been experimenting with a roundabout here without a roundabout. Let's see what happens. And I guess if I didn't mention it at the start, so I did start this build with everything unlocked and with the unlimited funds. And I can recommend the experience. It does make it a lot easier when you have essentially every signature building unlocked. You know, all of these assets already unlocked. I'm really gutted that I did not get the early access edition because that would have come with a Ferris wheel, and again, if you know Brisbane, the Ferris wheel over at South Brisbane, I feel like that just really would have completed the illusion. But anyway, that's fine. But yeah, I guess that's enough for today's episode. We've explored Brisbane, taken a bit of a tour, fixed a couple of trams. I think in the next episode, I definitely want to focus on building more of this inner north area out, finishing off some more of the valley, building Spring Hill. That'll involve expanding the train system out into the valley as well as the other big train station in this area of town. And yeah, But let me know what you think. There's a lot of things that are wrong. There's a lot of things that I love. Um, and uh-oh, rubbish. Okay, we better get out of here before we detect any more issues. But thank you for watching this episode of Shelley Skylines and checking out BrizVegas with me. We'll catch you in the next episode. Okay, thanks. Bye.